In this video, we want to look at Geogebra and learn a few things. So let's get started. Make sure that you're logged in. I'm logged in here. If it says to sign in, you want to pause the video and get yourself signed in. You should just need an email address to do that. All right, so once you're all signed in, there's lots of different things Geogebra can do. We're going to choose geometry. Now, it might default to this XY axis business here. Let's get rid of that for the geometry we're going to do today. You can always put this back and use it to draw things on graph paper. But I'm going to go to settings. The first option is to show axis. I'm going to take that off. I could leave the graph paper without the axis if you want to do that. Show grid, so you have options about what kind of grid lines to show. I'm just going to go no grid. Now, if there was a grid, you could do snap to grid, which helps to align things, clear everything, zoom to fit, and some other settings here that we might look at when we are looking at some other types of activities. So let's close that. Okay. So over here, we've got our tools that we can use. So we're just going to go through these. The first one is your grabber. So if you choose any of these other things, it's going to draw a point, a segment, a line, a polygon. Once you're done with that, you always want to go back to this move here. So let's say I want to draw a segment. So notice when I say segment, it says select 2 points or positions. So every time I select this, it gives me a little bit of help. So I don't have any points here, so I would just pick 2 positions and it would draw a line segment. Now notice if I click over here again, I still have segment chosen. So it's going to keep drawing line segments if I don't click away. If I don't come over here and choose move, now I can move this around. Okay, let's get rid of some of this stuff. So you can mess around with this a little bit. Let's talk about polygon. With the polygon, you're going to select all vertices, then the first vertex again. That's important. So you're making your polygon, but you have to close it. So in order for the polygon to be done, you have to come over here and click where you started. That closes it. Then you could click the move button to move this around. And once this is made, you can adjust it like this and do stuff like that. Okay, let's see if this works. Clear all traces. Trace must be something else. So we can click on move, click on this, and then hit delete. This is kind of a pain to get all these little points to go away. There's probably a quicker way to do this to clear everything. Okay, circle with a center. Select a center point, then a point on the circle. Now, you might think, why am I doing that when there's nothing here? Well, let's say you were building something, all right? Let's say you wanted to build a segment, okay? And then let's say you wanted to build a circle that had this, you know, something to do with A and B. So let's go click circle. So we're supposed to select a center point, then a point on the circle. So let's say I want A to be my center and B to be a point on the circle. Okay, I'm going to go hit move again, and I can actually minimize this even. So now I see that I had that segment, which was my radius. Now let's say I wanted to make another circle that had radius AB, and it was over here. Okay, so now let's go tools. That'll pull that toolbar out again. I can go circle, and then I hit the center and then a point on the circle. So center. Oh, I did that backwards. Okay, hold on. Let's do that again. Undo. Okay, circle, center, and then a point on the circle. So that allows me to, you know, add to a drawing if I want to. Now I'm going to go back and hit move, and I can move these around. All right, I can grab and move these, and I've created this interactive drawing is what I've done. Now at any point here, I can go save, and I can title this, you know, my cool circles, whatever I want to title it. Okay, now if I have something that's saved, I can go over to open, and these are all things that I've saved. Some of this is for my Calculus 4 class, kind of crazy stuff, huh? I did this stuff not in the area that we are doing, not in the geometry part. I thought I had some geometry. Here's some geometry stuff. Okay, anyway, let's go back to here. Now, Let's see what other tools we have here. Let's click more. So we can edit, delete. Oh, here's the quick delete here. Show and hide things. We can do midpoints, perpendicular lines, perpendicular bisectors, angle bisectors. Let's practice an angle bisector. Let's see if we can do that. So first thing we're going to need is an angle. So let's do 2 line segments. So there's a line segment and there's a line segment. So that makes an angle. And we can come over here to angle bisector. Select 3 points or 2 lines. So let's select 3 points. So I selected those 3 points and then it bisected that angle. In other words, it cut that angle. It drew the line that cuts that angle in half. Now again, if I go back here and hit move, I can change this around and everything changes with it. Let's look at this measure tool here. Now, if we click these measure tools, it's actually going to give us values. This is the angle bisector. So this angle here should be equal to this angle. Let's check it out. So we're going to measure the angle. It says to select 3 points or 2 lines. So I'm going to hit this point, and then some point on this segment. I may have to define that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it wants me to define that. Okay, let's go back. So since I need to select 3 points, I'm going to pick a point and just put it on that line segment there, that bisector. So now I can go back to measure the angle, and I can go 1, 2, 3, and now it's giving me 38.2 degrees. Okay, if you can change the settings in here for those numbers in here somewhere. All right, so actually what you want to do is you want to left click on this item and then hit settings, and then you can go to style and choose the size to make it easier to see that angle there. Let's see what other settings we have. We could do a color, line thickness. You can mess around with some of this, but labels. Okay. All right, so now let's measure this angle down here. Okay, so we're going to do angle DAC, and again that's 38.2. So let's go back and click on that arrow, right click, settings, style, make this a little bit bigger so we can see it, and we can see those are both 38.2. Now if I move these around, because I constructed the angle bisector, bisect means to cut in half into equal 2 pieces, then we have adjusting where these two are equal. Now you'll notice that I also have 2 angles over here. This reflex angle is also bisected. So if I wanted it to measure this angle over here, I could probably choose that. There we go. Oh, now it's measuring this one all the way around there. Don't know if I really want that one. Oh, it changed this angle. Instead of this angle, it's measuring that whole angle. So I'd have to go and mess with that a little bit if I wanted to get these 2 angles over here. Okay, we can also measure lengths if we have. There'll be a time when we want to do that. So let's say I want to measure the distance from A to B. Okay, so I can distance, and it says select 2 points. So A, B, and it's giving me 9.4. Okay, and I could do the distance from A to C. Those are not equal right now, but if I wanted to make them equal, I could adjust this out until they were equal, or as pretty close as I can. Okay, something like that. Let's see, so there's some other things down here. Measurements, we could measure area if we had a polygon. So we've got more with segments and rays. We're not going to do too much with vectors. Circles, semicircles, polygons. Now a regular polygon, let's look at that. Let's go try this delete function here. Delete. Select an object which should be deleted. Let's just get rid of everything. There we go. Okay. Let's go to regular polygon. So a regular polygon means all the sides and all the angles are going to be equal. So all I did there, let me do that again. All I did there for regular polygon was I just did 2 dots. 1, 2. That's going to be a side. Now it's asking me how many vertices do I want. So if I do 4, it's going to be a square. Let's do something more exciting. Let's say I do 8. 8 vertices. So that's going to be an octagon. And I hit OK. Oops, now it's doing it again because I didn't go back and choose my move tool. There we go. Okay, so there's my 8-sided regular octagon. I can make it bigger or smaller, but notice all the angles are equal and all the sides are equal. That's called a regular polygon. Now I could do a 8-sided polygon that's not regular. Just go 1, 2. I just selected polygon here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now I can go back up here and choose my move tool, and I can mess around with this, just any old 8-sided polygon. It's not regular, right? As opposed to this one, if I grab one of these, it's regular. So it should, why isn't it letting me grab that? Oh, interesting. Since A and B were the ones I defined, it's only letting me grab A and B to change it. It's not letting me grab C. Notice these are blue and these are gray. So, but let's say I wanted to construct all the segments that connected these. Okay, so now I could go to segment and I could do H, F, H, E, H, D, right? And I could draw, these are called the diagonals of the polygon. Okay, that's kind of fun. And we could say how many diagonals does it have. So this is a lot easier than drawing them all by hand with a ruler, I think. Did I miss one? I started going in order and then I went out of order. That's when you forget one. That looks pretty good. That's kind of neato. All right, so now if I go back up here to move, I could still grab this and change my picture. Okay, that's fun. All right, so hopefully that's a good little introduction, and you could certainly mess with this. You can bring in your own images. You can add text to something like that and say my cool octagon and put it in there. Oh, will it let you move that around? Let's try it. Yeah, you could move that around so you could make something. Again, you can save it. Now, if you wanted to share this with me, you hit here. It saves it, and then it brings up an address, and you hit copy, and then you could paste that into Canvas and use that to turn in your activity, what you built.